Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First. I'm Lindsey. I'm a knitter, crocheter, and spinner coming to you from Central Arkansas. I work at Arkansas Yarn Co. and I am a virtual assistant. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome in to episode 93. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you. I hope you will stick around. I do a traditional podcast style, and I name every episode after a song title that I'm feeling represents my week of life, knitting, crocheting, whatever. Because before my love of yarn was my love of music. So this week I chose Just Fine by Mary J. Blige. I do have a Spotify playlist below that you can follow for all of my songs on this playlist. And it's named Just Fine because just that. I have nothing exciting to report. I've touched a lot of projects. Everything's going just fine. And that's not a bad thing. So, one quick note before we get into it, I am a Knit Picks ambassador, so I do have a discount code. It is below for 15% off your purchase that you're welcome to use. And I am hosting a year-long make-along called Love My Stash. You have to use stash yarn that you had before this calendar year, and you need to use at least 50 grams of yarn in your project. You'll post it on my Ravelry group. There is a chat and an FO thread, and every month I will pull a winner from there. All right, so let's get into this week's episode. And so this week I will have hopefully chapters, but I do have timestamps below. I have no finished objects. I do have a cast on. It's pretty much cast on and whips because I also have no acquisitions again, so yay to that. And then at the end, I'm going to be talking about the Arkansas Yarn Crawl. Like I said, I do work at Arkansas Yarn Co. And when this video goes up on Friday will be the first day of the Yarn Crawl this year. So it's about to get really, really busy. Which is probably going to affect my making in the next podcast. But I want to kind of go over some of the things about the Yarn Crawl that I'm really excited about. So we will do that at the end. This will probably be a pretty quick one. So let's start with what I have cast on. I don't even know if I even talked about it. This cast, there's many things I want to cast on. I know y'all are with me here. But have you ever had a cast on that like the pattern came out and you're like, yep. And then miraculously you go to your stash and like, do I have something that'll work for that? And you find it, and you're like, okay, I'm casting on right now. That's what happened with this cast on. So this is in one of my Mrs. Brown's bags. And I cast on the Elton tee by Locatelli. I have made the Elton cardigan, which I love. All these patterns use like a fingering weight and a mohair or lace weight. So I did use the mohair in the cardigan. I used it, did an all white. If I remember, I will put in a finished object of my Elton cardigan. I knew that I wanted to do something classic that I could use over and over for that cardigan, which I love. It makes every outfit super dressy. But she came out with the tee version. So this is her third in the Elton series. And so I looked through my stash and I found some yarns, and here is where I am at. It is rolling up pretty big, so let's see. You can see the striping here. So I'm just working right now. The back panel I've started. I worked to a certain point, and then true Joji style with a lot of her patterns. Then I will cast on the front, get that going, and then connect it to work in the round. I think you pretty much work it flat till the sleeve separation, and then you work it in the round. But I'm enjoying this. Now, unfortunately, I lost the tags of what I'm using, but this is stash I've had for a while. Let me look here. I don't think. So I had two of these ones, And these are both Madelinetosh. So this one is a Madelinetosh. It was a collaboration with Shibui Knits before, with Shibui Knits. It was Madelinetosh Shibui Knits, and this is called Prickly Pear. So I have 2 skeins of this. So this is considered my main color, and it's fingering. And then I had this. I'm pretty sure this is the colorway Antler. So this is a lace weight, but it is not mohair. It is just wool. So I'm using lace weight, but I'm not using mohair in this one. I'm pretty sure this is the colorway Antler, which is like it's off-white color, but I caked it up and I immediately lost a tag after I did, and I didn't even put it in my project notes on Ravelry here. So I'm really enjoying that. And yeah, I like the colors together. So it was just one of those things where it worked out. I get to use my stash. It was perfect. And because I've made the Elton before, I feel really comfortable with this. I do like this too. Yes, you are working flat. I know a lot of people don't love purling. It does not bother me at all. Or you could knit in reverse if you don't like purling, but you do carry the colors up, so it isn't all these ends on the side. You just do these 4 rows, but you carry the color as you go, so you don't have to worry about all those ends coming in. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. That was a very happy accident that I had all the right tools I needed to start this. All right, that is my one and only cast on, and I just remembered one of my whips is in the living room, so I'm gonna have to go get that, and then we'll get into whips. Okay, so my first whip is a half-finished object. This is my July Night Owl Fiber sock. It is just a vanilla pattern. This time I decided to go back to do cuff down. So I did in the notes put my free pattern I have on Ravelry, which is my basic top down socks. I just haven't wrote the pattern for toe up. So when I do cuff down, I put that is my pattern, basic top down socks, which is just my vanilla socks. It's just how I do the measurement and things like that. But yeah, this is in the colorway Bird Watching by Night Owl Fibers. So while we're talking about this, I haven't even cast on the second one. I kind of want to sidetrack just a minute here and talk about why I haven't cast on the second one, because usually to prevent, as some people would say, second sock syndrome, I usually, as soon as I finish a sock, I immediately cast on the second one. I did not do that this time for a reason, because I am participating in Shark Week this week. So a little story about that if you don't know what that is. This year, Lori and I went to the Knitting McPurley retreat and we met Anne. Anne is a co-host of the Politically Incorrect Knitters podcast. And each year they host Shark Week. Now I had kind of heard about this in the past, but I didn't know who put it on. Like I didn't see much about it. I just heard people saying, oh, it got eaten by the shark. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. So we met Anne and got to really discuss what it was. So each year during Shark Week, they host a make-along. And how it happens is she has a Google spreadsheet that you commit to doing a project during Shark Week. You have 8 days to do this. You cannot cast on till the beginning of Shark Week, and you have to finish it by the end of Shark Week. You get to pick whatever you want to commit to. If you're a fast knitter and, you know, like I know a lot of different podcasts I watch are teachers, so they're off during the summer. Like if they can knit a whole like tank top in a week, they could commit to a tank top. Now, being that the yarn crawl is happening, so the Shark Week starts the 20th next week, which is during the yarn crawl. And I will be working extended hours. It's going to be crazy. I don't know how much knitting time I will have at the shop. I will be exhausted when I get home, but I really wanted to participate. So I have put in to do one sock. So I am going to be attempting my second sock during Shark Week. Now, once you commit to doing your project and you've gone on and filled out the spreadsheet, don't worry, I'm going to have all the details below this podcast so you can join Shark Week if you want. But once you have done that, if you don't finish your project by the end of Shark Week, you get eaten by the shark. And that means you have to, not only did you lose, you have to frog your project because it got eaten by the shark. So you can bet that next week, I'm going to, at least like for the beginning of the week, probably all I'm going to be working on at first is this sock because being that I'm devoting to my Night Owl Fibers monthly make-along, there will be some more days, that I could get it done if I got eaten by the shark, but I really don't want that to happen. So I am committing to getting my second sock done next week. So again, I will have details below where you can go online, you can see what the rules are, and then you can sign up for Shark Week. And what's cool about it is Anne has different sponsors that are included, and as long as you participate, whether you win or lose, you're going to get a package in the mail of stickers of different sponsors. Oh, and every year she has a theme. This year is the Shark of Music, I think. It's basically the sound of music. And so she has different things, which again, you'll read about in her posts about that if you post a picture with shark-related project bag, shark-themed yarn, a shark progress keeper, or a picture on when you post it that you're watching a musical as you knit on your project, then you get bonus points entered for prizes. So there's a bunch of different prizes. And Lori at Arkansas Yarn Co. was also working with Anne. She dyed up a couple of sock sets. They're 50-gram sock sets. And I immediately forgot what the name of it is. And they come with a cute shark stitch marker. So again, I'm not using the yarn for my project, but I did get one of the shark stitch markers, so I'll have that as some bonus points. All right, let's get on to our other whips. All right, this is one of my goals for the month. This is my Harlow Flip by Andrea and Mowry. This is a brioche pattern, and I've made progress. Again, I have a lot of whips I've touched. I don't know how much progress I've made. Okay, this one I've made quite a bit. All right, so here it is. There's my stitch marker. You can see right here, I am in the decreases, which is great. So did I swatch this? No. The pattern, great, easy, no problem. I've done brioche before. I made sure to watch videos to make sure I was doing the decreases properly so they looked nice and neat. No problem. I'm just worried. I mean, I know I have a big head, but brioche is so squishy that I'm a little bit nervous about if this is going to be huge on me. So we're going to see. But I'm hoping that next podcast I will have this done. But again, being that from now till the next podcast is pretty much all yarn crawl, I don't know how much progress I'll have done. But really love this pattern. The yarn I'm using is Urth Spiral Grain, and the colorways Ficus and Jacoranda. So you can see this side, and then flip it over, and it's all pretty on this side. That's going to be the side I wear because I am a blue girl. Yes, but really easy. If you haven't done brioche before, I think you could totally do this. I've only done 2 projects in brioche before. This is very basic stitches. She had You can look at a video. It's very easy to do, and it's very rewarding to see it take its shape. So enjoying that. My yarn barf here. And that is in a Della Q bag. It's from the North Texas Yarn Crawl. All right, moving on. Another one of my goals for the month was to catch up on my Anesidora shawl. This is in a bag by Love It Amsterdam. And I have made progress on this. I am not completely caught up. I think I have 4 more colored minis to catch up with. So not a ton of progress. You can see my progress keeper here, but it's coming along. I've been trying to work on this in the mornings, but we're going to get into a minute about I've been spinning the wheel, telling me what to make, what old whip to bring out of hiding and work on. So that's why this probably hasn't got as much progress, but I still feel this is a totally doable goal, considering I know what the next 2 weeks look like. Yeah. And the great thing is I'm on the decreases, so it's getting smaller and smaller, which is awesome. And that's, again, the reason why I want to catch up with this. This is a pattern, by the way, of, from Lindsey Fowler. And I want to get caught up because I'm getting the Gritty Knits All Year Advent specifically for that project. So I need to know when to cancel it when I have enough yarn to make my shawl. So Gritty Knits All Year Advent, and then just a white, I think it's a Knit Picks Stroll. I just have a bunch of skeins of that I have as the background. All right, moving right along. I think now the next 2 projects were ones that came up on my Spin the Wheel app. So I have been spinning a wheel on my phone. I have all of my whips that I'm not actively, regularly doing. And so each Sunday I spin the wheel and I then pull that out and try to do some work on it during that week. So first let's talk the Batad. I think that was what I was in the middle of doing the last podcast. And so technically like my week was up, but I was so close to finishing this welt section that I decided to keep going so that I was at a good finishing point. So this is the Batad by Stephen West. Here is where I'm at. So you can see I finished my welt. If you look at where my progress marker is, it doesn't look like I've done like anything, but I knit those 8 rows and created the welt. And then I went ahead, so it wasn't so right after the welt, I went ahead and switched to the other color and did a round of that. So I am excited that this one is making progress. This is, I believe, my oldest whip on my needles from 2018. And I am using the colors Monarch and Guppy from Hedgehog Fibers. Matches my dress today. Okay, so let's briefly, I have it on the floor here. Let's see. Briefly, let's talk about what I got on my wheel spin last week. So last week I spun the wheel and it came up my Aruba tunic. This is by TL Yarn Crafts. It is a Tunisian crochet pattern. And I was excited because for the Arkansas Yarn Co. Weekend with Friends retreat this year, I will be teaching Tunisian crochet. I really love Tunisian crochet, and I love this. So here I haven't frogged it yet. This is about to get frogged. I love this. I love the Tunisian crochet. This was supposed to be like a swimsuit wrap. So basically it's like this long flat piece that you were basically making the front and the back. and then you'd go to a certain point, and then there would be a hole for your head, and then continue on the other side. The reason I like picked this up, was excited to do some Tunisian crochet, picked it up, and got maybe this far in a row. And I'm like, nope, I know why I put this project away. So this is the yarn I was using. This is Kobu from Lion Brand. This yarn is so splitty. If you can see it, I don't even know if splitty is the word, but more like fraying. If you can see this, like just fraying all to heck. This is what's happening when I'm crocheting with it. It's just coming apart. And I can handle, I've knit with splitty yarn or whatever, but crocheting this with it just like fraying like that was just unbearable. I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to finish this project with this yarn, which is a shame. So this, unfortunately, is going to get frogged because I hate using this yarn. So who knows if since this is a swimsuit cover-up, you're going to want a specific kind of yarn, a fabric to use for this. So I have no plans to cast this on again anytime soon because we're in July. If I cast this on, I know myself, I'm not going to finish it to use it for this swimsuit season. So, womp womp. But I'm glad that it came up on my wheel, so I brought it out and I'm like, nope, I know why I haven't touched this project, which was a good lesson for me. So let's talk about what was on my wheel this week. This week, I have this project in another Mrs. Brown's bag. I've been kind of pulling out some of my old bags I haven't used for a while. This is the Eyelet Burst Shawl. This is by Stephen West again. And typical Stephen West, there's a lot of stitches on here. So it's all kind of squished up. You're not going to really be able to see it properly. So today is Wednesday, by the way, July 16th. So I've only started picking this up Monday. So I've only worked on it 2 days. So not a ton of progress, but being that the rows are pretty long, pretty decent. Again, I love that I'm doing this wheel project because when I seem to pick it up, I usually can like finish like a section or, you know what I mean? Like, so for this one, this is a 4-color shawl. So you're holding, you're just holding it single, but you're alternating. So my color 1 was the green, and then I bring in the next color, which I had a variegated. And this again was all, even when I started this, this was all from my stash. And so I brought in the variegated, then you do the variegated by itself for a while. And then I brought in the blue. So then I did some rows with just the blue. And so just since I picked it up this week, I have brought in the final color, which is exciting. So I'm just to the point where I'm alternating the blue with the final color. And then I'll just have the final color section and I'll be done. So it's exciting. So very, very simple shawl. If Stephen West shawls intimidate you, this is a great, easy one. Garter stitch, back and forth with some eyelets. Again, I can't, bring it out like a shawl because it is all crazy on my needles, but love the colors. So let me look at what the colors are. So the green is Arkansas Yarn Co. The World Is Not Enough. And then the next one, the variegated one, is Hugh Loco, Cat Nanny. And then the solo blue here, again, is Arkansas Yarn Co. and Let the Sky Fall. And then the last one, which you can't really see, but I have the last 2 colors here. So this is Let the Sky Fall. And this is Sinful Yarns Beta Fish. So yes, I'm really enjoying that. That has been a fun one to do this week. I'm enjoying making progress on all these. And I can see where all my needles have gone to. Because sometimes when I start a new project, I'm like, and I have quite a few interchangeable sets, and I'm like, where is all this size needle? Oh, yeah, it's probably in my whips. All right, I have one last project to talk about. And if you've been here a while, you should know it is in this bag by Woolly Bean, and it is the Flax DK. This is for the sweater class that we have been giving at Arkansas Yarn Co. I've been making the videos for. And so last week I made the video for class 4. So here is my sweater, and I finished the body, and class 4 was picking up sleeves. So you can see I'm on the first sleeve here, working away. I'm planning on doing a 3/4 sleeve with mine. The Flax is a free pattern by Tin Can Knits. I am using their free app, which is amazing for their patterns. I just wish every designer would have their own app because it would just make life so much easier. But yeah, I've gotten quite a bit of progress on this. Very easygoing, very great sweater. If you have never made a garment, I definitely suggest this one. You can use different weights. The class is actually using a worsted weight, but I decided to go with DK. So yeah. Don't know if it'll be done, but I really do need to make more progress with this because class 5, I need to have a finished sweater, and it's all about showing people how to weave in their ends and block and care for their sweater after the fact. So I need to get moving on this. I've just been distracted with all the other things that I've been enjoying working on. All right, that is all of my whips. So let's talk briefly about the Arkansas Yarn Crawl. So the Arkansas Yarn Crawl, if you are around here or, close enough that you could drive over, we have a lot of friends that come over and stay the weekend in a hotel and do the yarn crawl, or they may just come to our store. But the Arkansas Yarn Crawl is really fun event, very crazy, and there's lots of events. So I'm going to try to briefly talk about some of the events because I know a lot of you watching aren't anywhere near us, which you should plan to come next year. So the Arkansas Yarn Crawl starts this Friday. So the day that this video is released will be the first day. We have 5 trunk shows in total. We have a couple of local trunk shows that will be there all week long. But then we have special trunk shows and visitors that are going to just be there for a few days. So starting this Friday, Tristan from Dragon Horde Yarns will be in store. Her trunk show will be there the entirety of the crawl. And also, all of our trunk shows, except for Sydney Fowler Creations, are available online. So even if you're not local, you can go to arkansasyarnco.com and shop the trunk shows. So Tristan will be in store Friday, Saturday, and maybe a little bit Sunday morning. I know she's going home Sunday. And we have a special event Friday night that if you want to go to, you need to go onto our website and buy a $5 ticket for a sip and stitch with Tristan. This will be after hours with a limited amount of seating. And then Saturday, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we also have another special guest, my friend Sarah, who is the sexy knitter. She makes all those cute little, in fact, I have some right here. She has these stitch marker bracelets like that are always on theme. Last year, I bought this limited edition, like super fancy Star Wars one. I love it. So these are great when you're starting a sweater because you can wear it as a bracelet and you have all these stitch markers. And then when you have to do it for a raglan, put all stitch markers between all these sections, then you have them right here. So super fun. She has little bags with different stitch markers, and we are having a special event Saturday evening after hours with Sarah, where you have to, again, pay a ticket online. The ticket is $20, and that covers a little stitch marker pouch that you will get at the event. She will have individual stitch markers. So a lot of times, you see stitch markers that are in a set. These are all Muppets. These are all Star Wars. And when you buy a set, they all come with that. But you only maybe want one of the, maybe you only want Kermit the Frog. So she's going to be having all these individual stitch markers. The event, the cost of the ticket, you get a pouch, and you get to put as many stitch markers that you can fit in your pouch, and that is the cost of the $20. So that is going to be super fun. I'm really excited. I am totally getting one of those. And she will also be in store Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and she will be taking, after that, her trunk show will be going home with her. So she will just be Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this first weekend. And then the following weekend, we are having another special guest, and that will be Tammy of A Chick That Knits. And she will be in store, I believe, Friday and Saturday, the last 2 days of the crawl. And Tammy has a lot of yarns that are perfect for planned pooling projects. And so we have another Sip and Stitch event Saturday evening that night. Again, so it's a $5 ticket. You have to go online and purchase it. And she's going to talk about planned pooling yarn, planned pooling projects, things like that. So we have Sydney Fowler is local. She'll be in all week. String Crazy is a bag maker. You've seen, I know a lot, I don't have one right here, but a lot of the bucket bags were super popular the last couple of years. And so she will, again, be in store all week. Hers will be online available all week. If you see something you like, make sure you get it quickly, because her bucket bags especially go super fast. I feel like they were all gone by the end of the first Saturday of the crawl. They're really, really great. Trying to think of what else there was. Oh, right now we have a pre-order of our sugar shirts. And that shirt is basically every yarn shop on the Arkansas Yarn Crawl has their own sheep. And we have cute little sheeps that somebody made up for us. And the sheep will be hiding in each store. You can take a selfie with the sheep and be available for prizes. And let's see, we made a shirt with sugar on it, and right now they are up for pre-order. We have limited amount of different sizes, so if you want that, you can go online and purchase that now. And then, what else do we have? Okay, so if you're doing the actual crawl, there is the Arkansas Yarn Crawl bag, which you will get. I will hopefully be putting in pictures, and that bag is free. When you come to the crawl, it's in person. You cannot buy it online. It's for crawlers only. Then we are having a stitch marker pin set. So how this works is you'll see a picture here. There's a pin that is for purchase. Again, this is for crawlers only. This is a thing for the crawl, but it will be for purchase for $5. And whatever store you start at, so for instance, if you start at Arkansas Yarn Co., you will get the pin, which is the same for wherever you buy it. And then you will get our sheep sugar, the stitch marker, for free with the pin. If you go to other stores during the crawl, they each have their own stitch marker. And when you've bought the pin, you show them that and you get the stitch marker for free. It's a great incentive to try to get to all the stores because you want the whole set of stitch markers, right? I mean, I do. So I love this idea, and I have a picture of all the stitch markers from all the store. They're so, so cute. But yeah, we are really excited for the yarn crawl. We always see many, many friends that make a special trip over. We've had regular people that come from Illinois, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. People make the trip to come to the yarn crawl. And we've also, besides all the trunk show special stuff, we have stocked the store. We have reordered. We've gotten new Hue Loco. We've gotten new Yarn Cafe creations. We restocked Malabrigo, Bamboo Pop, Cotton. So there is a lot of things in the store. And now you know why I haven't been buying anything, because I'm like, okay, I know that the yarn crawl is going to tempt me. So as I see things come in, we'll see how good I do. But that is all for this week. I thank you so much for being here. If you stayed all the way to the end, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to talk about the crawl next podcast. We'll see how much making I get done, but I will see you again in 2 weeks. Bye.